Hi and welcome to the Running Channel. I'm Anna and today I'm joined by Rick and Kate and we're going to go through the 5 things we wish we'd known before our first marathons.
Hopefully these will give you the heads up you need if you're getting ready to run your first marathon.
If you're new around here, what have you been doing? Well, it's not too late now. Hit subscribe so you get notifications when we upload videos like this one. Okay, so my memories of my first marathon, the main mistake that I did was I just looked like a complete bagman. I just carried so much stuff on me. So I had a belt with a load of gels on it, and I also had big cans, big earphones that I was thinking about getting rid of, but they were quite expensive. They were probably, you know, 80, 100 pounds. So I was like, I can't chuck these out, and I had to carry them until I eventually saw someone from my family or friends, which wasn't until the 23rd mile mark. So I had to carry it the whole way. And I was constantly looking out, but of course we didn't plan it out where they were going to be. So I just carried these massive set of cans the whole way around until 23 miles. So yeah, I wish I'd not taken so much stuff.
What was your first marathon, Kate?
My first marathon was London in 2014. And I think my main memory of it is, you know when you go through the 5K checkpoints where if someone's tracking you on an app or whatever, it comes up and you've just gone through that. So I remember going through 10K and thinking, great, I've done 10K, my husband, my kids will know, it'll be great. And then literally about 2 seconds later thinking, oh my God, I've got 20 miles to go.
Oh, that is
and like almost having a panic attack while running.
Yeah.
Oh, my first marathon was Edinburgh in 2017, and I remember the training being really difficult to get around mentally because I'd never run further than a half marathon before.
Yeah.
And when you start running 14 miles, 15 miles on a weekend with no medal and no, crowd support.
In the middle of winter.
In the middle of winter. And
Yeah.
it just feels so weird and so wrong. But the marathon itself all kind of went wrong and I ended up getting injured at 16 miles and had to hobble for 10.
Oh,
so
gosh.
yeah, not a great experience.
At least you finished it though.
Yes.
Yeah, you got the medal.
So tip number 1, training is the hard part. I remember when I was training for my first marathon and thinking, how am I going to run this far? We had long runs in the programme that were like 16, 17, 18 miles, and I'd never gone that far before. But the truth is, if you get to the start line on marathon day, ready to run, you've done 95% of the hard work already. The victory lap is marathon day.
That's right. And think about the longest run that you're going to do in training. It might be 20 miles, it might even be more. You're going to finish that run thinking, I could not run 1 more centimetre, let alone 6 more miles. But don't forget, you're doing that run by yourself, tired, and you haven't got the benefit yet that you'll have on race day when you'll have tapered legs, nice and fresh, you'll have people passing you water, you'll have crowds cheering for you, and you'll have a huge boost of adrenaline.
Before my first marathon, people were banging on about the wall. I was fully prepared to have this massive crash in mile 20 or something like that. What I wasn't prepared for though is the series of little miniature battles that actually go on the whole way through, Kate. So every 5 miles or so.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, I mentioned earlier about how I had that panic attack when I went through 10K and realised I had 20 to go. And what I've learned from that is that you really need to actually practice strategies for dealing with that. It sounds really strange, but practicing the little conversations you have with yourself when things start getting really tough. Now, it might be that you use a mantra to get through those moments, or you might do the Paula Radcliffe thing and count to 100. But it's really important to work that out in advance so you know how to deal with it on race day.
When you reach your taper time, your long runs will come down in mileage. So you'll typically do your last long run around 3 weeks before marathon day, but don't cut down your runs altogether. Don't forget the short stuff. You're tapering, not stopping.
That's right. Now, when you do get to the last week before race day, do not worry if you suddenly start feeling really sluggish and tired and weak. That is completely normal, as is suddenly developing total paranoia. Everybody around you is suddenly sneezing all over you, spreading their germs everywhere, and everyone on public transport wants to stamp on your feet. Welcome to the world of maranoia.
Do not panic if you don't sleep well the night before marathon day. It happens to all of us and it's completely normal and won't really affect your performance. If you can, try and get some really good night's sleep in a few days leading up to race day.
That's right. The one thing I had no idea about until I did my first marathon was that you might not sleep great after the race either. Your mind is replaying the whole thing. You've still got adrenaline buzzing around your system and your muscles are twitching madly. But just don't worry about it, it's completely normal. However, if you do have the option to take the next day off work, then maybe consider it because you might be really, really tired.
Yeah, alongside that, a lot of people come down with bugs in the week after they've done a marathon or a big race. It's like your body's been fighting everything off just to get you to that point, and now it's free and thinks, yeah, I can have a rest. So the week after, you need to take really good care of yourself and not stop the physical activity altogether. So get out there, do some walks, do some swimming, and if you do those things, it will actually help you sleep.
Now, the trouble with marathons is that one might just not be enough for you. Maybe you feel like your time didn't do you justice, or maybe you just want to search for that adrenaline high again. Or maybe you're a completely sane person and once is quite enough for you. But whatever you decide, if you are going to go for another marathon, just make sure you give yourself enough time to properly recover before you throw yourself back into another training cycle.
So there you have it. Those are the things that we wish that we'd known before our first marathon. If you've done one before, what are the things that you wish that you'd known? Or maybe you're training for your first marathon and you've got questions. Whatever it is, leave us a comment below.
Don't forget to check out our videos on the running channel. We've got everything from running marathons to running further to running faster and everything in between. We'll see you next time.